Howdy, hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Hello. Right, a bit of a different one today in terms of, yeah, I'm playing LOTRO, but we had an interesting new Call of the Rings yesterday with obviously Cord and his weekly LOTRO stream, but also Severlin, obviously executive producer for LOTRO and DDO. Talking about several new things, and we are going to look at these in specific details because it was rather splendiferous, some of the news. Some people are backlashing against it already, but there you go. It's kind of reactionary, knee-jerk, insert here kind of job. But I'll just try and drag in the webpage if I can. Where are you, webpage? That's the one. Bring in that one. Put that over my game. Right. I don't know how this is going to pan out, but we shall have a quick look. Up. Right, not that one. There. Okay. Right. A little bit winky wonky there, hasn't it? Let's just sort that out a second. Alright, let's just bring that over there. Just amend that, please. Thank you. Yeah, we're on that. We're on that. Top is fine. Left is. Drop that in a little bit more. The right as well. Oop, hello. Go the other way. Let's try and do that. I'll tell you what, we'll bring down that. I just don't want all the guff of everybody else's kind of chat going on because it's important. There we go. Right. Can we just bring that over to 0? There we go. Put that there. That'll do. Right. Let's scrolly. So I'm going to actually use Weird Jedi, which I think is Fibro Jedi's list, if I remember correctly. He kind of paraphrased and noted everything that was kind of said during the stream, which was damn handy because I was going through it. It was quite difficult to try and keep just mental notes of it, whereas a lot of it is, you know, kind of have to watch it through several times just to get your kind of head around it. But yeah, keep some. They've taught some of the stuff before and done nothing. They will do this this time either. Other than that, if they pull it off, then great. Yeah, I think the problem is that all the best laid plans. You can say one thing and it doesn't always happen. That's, you know, true in real life as it is in, you know, game development. You know, if trying to split those off to two different entities. So whilst, yes, you may think, they've said this before, but there's always a problem with it. You know, who knows, right? Let's just see if I can get that. I'll tell you what we'll do. Well, let's enlarge that, shall we? Let's just zoom in a little smidge, and then we'll just crop it less on the left. There we go. And then we'll crop it less on the right. There we go. Is that? Yeah, okay, yeah. That's just... There we go. Just plonk this over somewhat so I'm not kind of... Let's just do that. Probably better. That's probably better because it's over there and I'm not covering it over any of the text. Sometimes you just got to do this on the fly, haven't you? Just got to do it on the fly. Oh, no, it's not. There we go. I think that's correct. Let's just do... I think of this on at the time, but there you go. 600. Yeah. 700. Edit. There we go. And then let's just bring that back. Ooh, that's no 500, not 800, you dickhead. There we go. That'll do. I'm just trying to make sure that that is the last word there that's not getting cut off, which is fine. Double check. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So it's a bit better now. We can see everything. Everything's a little bit bigger in words, which is always good. So yeah, pretty much we're just going to run through everything that they mentioned as it went through the stream. But yeah, as Keepy did mention there, it's a case of, yeah, some things have been mentioned before. Some things take time. We know that the team is not very big. They're working on 2 projects, especially the artists, that they work on one side and then they work on the side of, I was going to say the Space 2 there, that's not right. LOTRO, and then one time they're flipping back to Dungeons and Dragons Online. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of technical people that do work on both as well, so there has to be an ability for them to make those resources available, and that can be very, very difficult to do, especially when you're balancing 2 titles. But anyway, we've heard rumors for a little while about these new legendary servers, and they did actually release details of them yesterday. As you can see right at the top, legendary servers. So, Mordor and Angmar are they're going to be called. Angmar is going to be based in the US, and Mordor is going to be based literally in the EU. So it is going to be an EU server. Not literally just because of time zone, literally a physical presence. So for us people in the EU, we will have a server that we will be able to create a character on that will have similar latency in terms of ping to what we used to have. They didn't divulge where it will be. It could be anywhere. It could be Germany, could be the Netherlands. They're usually central European kind of data centers. Yeah, the possibility of the UK. But I don't think we know until maybe that's launched. Now, we'll probably focus more on Mordor because it is EU, and obviously I'm an EU player, and obviously a lot of people that watch this are EU players, but there's a lot of similarities. They're supposed to be coming sometime in July. We don't know exactly when, but I think they're going to try and put them up for availability to basically stress test them, which I'm sure people will dive into and think, oh my god, the performance is terrible. Now, not everybody will listen to this, not everybody will know, but if you stress test it, you are there to literally stress it. You know, certain features are in place, certain abilities are in place, and it is you there to flood it, perform things that are going to really put that system under intense pressure, i.e. stress it out, and that's what a stress test generally does. If people are just expecting to go onto any kind of beta server and everything to be working perfect, then sadly you're mistaken. That isn't how these work. You are there to beta test. If it was an early access thing, it'd be slightly different. But anyway, I digress. Now, the reason that they're only going with the one European server is literally the space. Now, I don't know how things are kind of worked out in a data center in terms of how much space you can rent. Obviously, if they don't own the data center, then it's going to cost, and I'm talking about SSG here, and to the wider group in a Global 7, they're going to have to pay a significant amount of money to host the required servers. Now, when we say server, it isn't just one server. It's not always just virtual, rather. It can be specifically a physical server, as in a piece of hardware, which they may need to rent. And sometimes there isn't the capacity, the bandwidth. If you've ever rented a game server from any kind of host, and that could be over in, wherever, you can be generally paying for the performance level. So that basically drops down to how strong your hardware is. Now, if they're having to buy a server that's quite powerful in terms of hardware physicality, then obviously that's a monthly cost that they kind of have to absorb. Subsequently, also the bandwidth in and out of that data center could be quite high. Maybe they might need 2 physical servers. Yes, a lot of things can be virtually done. There has to be redundancy as well, because if the server falls over, they have to fix it. Paying for any kind of service costs, because obviously people have to be employed at the data center to fix things, and then, can they remote access in? There's a lot of things. It's not a case of, hey, I've got a computer, you can stick it in my garage, run a server off it for free kind of thing. That's not how it works. So I can imagine that there's a lot in terms of monetary cost that needs to be looked at. People again probably won't be aware of that, but you know, all these things cost. It's not just, you know, playing peer-to-peer off somebody's PC. These are dedicated servers and seemingly different servers. Now, probably the one thing that will has caused the most consternation among people is that they have said that initially, at least initially, these legendary servers are going to be VIP only. So if you are a subscriber to the game of LOTRO, you will have access to them. If you are not a subscriber, be it for a month, you know, year, lifetime, whatever you are, you will not have access to these servers. And people have kicked off a little bit about this and said, oh, you're excluding people, blah, 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 legendary servers and this, that, and the other. Well, there was a lot of reason behind this, is that they said that if all of a sudden 20,000 players try and descend upon these servers, they're just going to fall over. They openly admitted that we cannot handle that many people. Now, you could argue, do they think they're really going to get 20,000 people trying to get into the server? We have seen it in the past, and I'm sure at some point, you know, we'll see it in the future. But they've put it down to basically VIPs. Whether they do these kind of bull roar open tests kind of scenarios for stress tests for these, whether they do specifically limit it to VIPs or open it up to everyone, I'm not entirely sure, because it could be a good test if everybody tried to get in. But when they are launched, these legendary servers will be VIP only. So if you're a subscriber, you'll have access. Again, if you don't, or if you aren't, you won't get in there. Now, could it be that you want to try these servers out? Then maybe you want to sub for a month, or maybe you just wait to see how things pan out. Now, what these are in terms of legendary servers, why there's a different thing, we'll get into in a little bit. But they have said they're going to try and do a stress test beforehand, which we know. They're hoping to have a developer on the actual server themselves, acting as some kind of games master, just messing around, you know, spawning enemies and this kind of stuff, which we did used to have many years ago. You used to have GMs, and I certainly remember in the beta test for LOTRO, just at Trestle Bridge, just literally over the Trestle Bridge itself. There was a big event kicked off with loads of massive trolls and things like that all swooping in there. I mean, it was an absolute clusterfuck, if I'm honest. But it was there for fun because I think it was the end of the beta test. So maybe we'll see something along those lines. Let me just click my game so that I don't get logged out. There we go. So there's going to be that... hopefully an option. Well, they've also said as well that the characters are all going to get wiped from the beta test. So if anybody goes in there and creates a character, don't expect it to be there any longer. Now, the Etenmoor's PvP zone is not going to be available. This is going to be a non-PvP at all server. Now, obviously, a normal server is not world PvP. It is literally limited to the Etenmoor's. But we're just going to have nothing whatsoever enabled for Etenmoor. So you're not going to be able to go there. You're not going to be able to use any gear from there or anything like that. Because they've said that is potentially one of the things that lags a server. So they're hoping that not having that can help. What you also won't be able to do is you cannot transfer a character to the servers. So you won't be able to take one of your characters off, say, Evernight. You won't be able to transfer it like we can do to other legendary servers, or, you know, whatever, to a different server. Like Bull Roarer or anything like that. You will not. You'll be starting brand new. Green Tea, do you remember how the servers handled a large amount of players fighting those trolls during beta? To be fair, it was a very long time ago. We are talking over 17 years. So I just remember frame rate was down in the zeros, like about 2 or 3 frames per second. I think a lot of the time it was just down to an end of the beta. I think it was like 2 days before, or maybe even the day before the beta actually ended. They just thought it was a bit of fun. All of a sudden, these trolls appeared, blah, blah, blah. And they were huge, you know, like they were 3-4 times the size of a normal player, and there was just wave after wave after wave, and you know, people would them respawning in Trestlebridge, coming back into the fight, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, that was just the whole massive stress test that they did back then. So yeah, just to reiterate, you can't transfer characters to these servers. You will be starting a brand new character, so you'll have to try and grab a player name, character name, whatever you want at the start.
Prime to your Twitcher, oh viewers of plenty, oh viewers of plenty. Whoa.
There we go. That is Jim the Mac. How you doing, Jim? Thank you very much, as always. A pleasure. 19 months. 19 months. What's that? Blimey, Charlie. 19 months. That's nearly, well, yeah, just over a year and a half. Just over a year. Wow. Green Tea says, when Code summoned Balrog during the anniversary this year for 40 people, the server nearly died. I wonder if Find the 9 will work. Well, we'll get to that in a bit, because I think they're doing a kind of mitigation on this in a few ways. Initially as well, the level cap on these new servers is only going to be up to level 50. So you're literally going to be at the doors of Moria. So they may limit you going into Moria, because we had that before, if I remember correctly. We were up to like level 50, and it was only then did we go into Moria itself. Now, they may have Moria open from the off, but the only reason I say that is that a lot of people can go get the... Well, they might not actually allow you into Moria, but you can obviously get your legendary at level 45, because that is when you get your first quest. So it's going to be interesting how they handle that. But anyway, that is the level cap that they're going to be initially going with, which is level 50. So in terms of expansion, we're going to be around Moria. Whether we're able to go in there or not is a different matter. So we may be like hammering the bejesus out of Enedwaith and around there. Eregion rather, not Enedwaith. So, what is the difference about these specific servers? Well, it is called the Vale of the Nine, okay? Now, you might be thinking, what's that all about? Well, it's going to be kind of events that kind of go off on these servers. Now, depending upon your difficulty setting, so obviously we know that there's a landscape difficulty built into the game now. So if you want to be like on your normal, you want to make it easy, if you want to make it really chuffing difficult, there is a potential for a ring wraith to come after you. And basically, they can wander around, and all of a sudden you could be fighting something, and then all of a sudden you could have a ring wraith kind of appear. Now, depending upon your difficulty level, this could be a problem, because they are very, very powerful. Now, they did think, if I remember correctly, and I don't know if it's... oh, yeah, he has put it in here. It said, just to... read this verbatim. When at the level cap of the server, okay, so this is when you get to level cap, so level 50, one of the 9 ring wraiths can potentially appear to kill you. Okay, so that is one of the all-powerful ring wraiths. So these wraiths could be near impossible to defeat on your own, and would require approximately 40 to 50 people to take it down. Now, this is what Sevelin said. There will probably be a bit more nuance to this. However, we are looking at a kind of world event. They did actually term it as kind of a world boss, not a raid boss, more as a world boss. But they reckon it'll take about 50 people to take down. There will be an advanced, there will be an effect to warn you in advance to give you some time to flee. Okay. Now, literally, he said if you do not have a thing that we'll touch on shortly, you'll probably want to run away. You'll want to do a brave Sir Robin. You'll want to, you know, make like a tree and leave as quick as you can, because you will not take them on at all. We'll see lesser ring wraiths appearing around level 15. So in your journey, you may appear them. Although they don't appear that often, greater wraiths will be vulnerable players who carry a special ring. This turns the encounter into a world boss fight. So like what I just talked about there. Now, these special rings, okay, there is only 12 of them across the whole server. So whether you're playing on Angmar or whether you're playing on Mordor, I think Mordor is the better name, to be fair, is that there's only 12 of them, literally 12, and you're only going to be able to carry one at a time. Now, these special rings will be found dotted around the world randomly in chests on the server, and they are actually quite a powerful piece of jewelry on their own. You'll only ever be able to carry one because they think if they're carrying two, it's going to be too powerful. However, there'll be kind of a world broadcast that they're trying to bring in that is going to basically say, hey, somebody's found one of these rings. Now, when you are a holder of one of these rings, then you are not only kind of given a little bit of an extra boost just because of your increased abilities with that ring itself, but you are then one of the chosen few that if you were to go into battle with one of the kind of greater wraiths, or one of the 9, shall we call it, however many they're going to be, then you will basically dispel the invulnerability that wraith has. So it's, imagine like fire is, you know, one of the ring wraiths kind of great vulnerabilities. You remember, you know, I want to say Aragorn then. Aragorn on top of Weathertop when he's fighting the ring wraiths. They hated fire, they hated light kind of thing. That is, you know, something of a similarity. You will break down their invulnerability and allow people to do damage. That still means that they're going to be a most powerful foe, but you need to be there with that ring. They haven't said if, and I don't think it'll stack. So if all of a sudden you get 5 people who've got the rings all of a sudden converging on a big battle with one of these greater wraiths, that there'll be kind of a multiplier of any power from these rings. I think it would probably fall down to that one is enough, but if that person dies, doesn't get resurrected or whatever, maybe when they're defeated, it could be that the power of that ring is diminished. So you might want 2 or 3 people there because then you've kind of got the ability, should somebody die, to still have that to break down that invulnerability. Because to be not in a good cook, can you imagine it? You're fighting a ring wraith and one of these greater wraiths. There's a group of like 50 people, and all of a sudden the one person that's got the ring disconnects. And all of a sudden you're there 2 hits away from taking down this greater wraith, and then literally the player disconnects and you can't hit them. They may be able to tickle some damage, but they've got such invulnerability. that would be like, really? You could actually troll people massively with that, couldn't you? That would be quite epic. Epically bad as well. So it would be mean to have someone to be able to wear 2 rings at a time. There will be rewards for engaging with this kind of system, so you could avoid it if you wanted to. If you just want to level on a legendary, for example, a legendary server, then you can avoid it. But I think the whole premise for playing on this server would be to get into some form of big battle with these wraiths. So we'll see. The titles are going to be available. They're looking at creating... sorry, there was a question regarding leaderboards, but they said that's probably beyond the scope of these changes. There are going to be portraits that carry over to other servers like Treebeard and Shadowfax and stuff like that. That obviously... what was the other server? Because I got the portrait from there. That was one of the servers that closed down, which you can kind of use. Not Andor, was it? No, there was a different one that Arnor, that was it. Yes, yeah, Arnor. I had Andor in my head, so I was close. Just need to remove the D. So yeah, Arnor. That one was the one that obviously I got the portrait from, which I quite like. So I think it was to get the character to level 50, I think, or something. So because of how the event follows an old school design, we'll see how things unfold as a social experiment on the legendary servers before determining if they will come to the rest of the worlds. So there's a possibility, if it's kind of, you know, there's a lot of balance going to be involved with these, not only for how it plays out at certain levels, but is it going to be too interruptive or disruptive rather, to a normal server where there's a lot more people. And obviously, there's performance problems with this as well. Wraiths will only appear in landscape. They won't appear in any instances. So if you're doing an instance and like you're battling away, you know, you're not then all of a sudden going to have to deal with a wraith appearing. It literally is just going to be landscape only. So that still means that you can go out and do instances, but you're just not going to experience those wraiths appearing and kind of pissing everybody off, which you've got to be mindful of. You. And I think when you kind of read through all these things, you kind of realize how much balance there is involved. You know, it's like, how powerful can these rings be that are going to affect the wraith? How powerful are the wraiths compared to the people? Are they going to be too powerful? How are they going to affect the various people on a live world server? You know, such as Evernight and places like that. So. And this obviously depends upon what's going to happen with legendaries. You know, if you're a level 50, for example, and you haven't got a legendary yet, which obviously is a slight boost in power, how is that going to affect things? How are you going to go and deal with these with a normal weapon, for example, without a legendary? Are you going to be so underpowered that it's just going to be pointless, even with somebody with the ring? So you can imagine that there's so much to consider, so much to consider. So there's a lot to consider, a lot to think about. Wiggle there we go, before she disappears, because I don't want to disappear. Come back. Right, there you go. So yeah, that's kind of what the Veil of the Nine is going to be. They're going to be ring wraith events, people coming in, or these enemies coming in. They're going to be lesser ones, and then there's going to be greater ones, which are only going to be vulnerable when players have a special ring. The other ones, probably the lesser wraiths, we did kind of get the hint that they were going to be defeatable, but they're going to be problematic, and you may want to GTFO just in case, because they're still going to be very, very strong. So with the difficulty slider thing for the landscape difficulty, it could be like you play on level 3 like I do with Sam Ridzvin, and it could be that he's having to deal with the Eye of Sauron, which is a pain in the ass in itself, because I think it triggers too often and stays on for too long. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for Sauron, you know, kind of searching and looking, but there's a lot of people running around and I seem to get picked on quite a lot. So I think that needs toning down if that's to stay in place with these ring wraiths going on. Can you imagine you battling with, you know, things that are kicking off with the Eye of Sauron buff, and then one of these ring wraiths turns up? You could be in a whole world of hurt very quickly. So it'll be very intriguing to see how this plays out. Again, lots of permutations with regards balance and everything. Right, performance pillars. This is what I found very interesting, because I know everybody's aware that they're lagging LOTRO. Even the devs are aware of it. It must be frustrating for them because they're limited in what they can do to fix this, but they are still attempting it. So there are 3 pillars to combat lag. The 64-bit servers, obviously, which currently we're on 32-bit, which doesn't handle it very well. The handling of information, which is kind of the to and fro between, I think, the UI and the data in the back end. And serialization, I've kind of forgotten what this one actually is and how they determined it. But I'd have to look back on the video for how they kind of explain that one. So 64-bit servers will come to the legendary servers first. Again, this was like, oh, up in arms. Well, they're using these legendary servers as a test bed for how good these improvements are. But contrary to how the servers currently stop to load from disk, this should allow the server to preload all the instances where a person enters into one. So pretty much they kind of used an example of the various places where you load in, and how, you know, sometimes you could be stood at the door and you can't get in, and you're kind of like, oh, let me in, and it just doesn't work. You're going to be able to kind of preload this as an instance. The other place that they said that was problematic, apart from the Etermores, obviously we know this, was Minas Tirith. That is going to be a kind of separate entity for itself. So that will kind of be offloaded to something else, to another maybe another virtual server where it's kind of sat on its own. So it shouldn't affect the overall normal game world. Whereas this will be a separate entity, having its own, resources and everything else. Now 64-bit and one of the things that kind of helps with 64-bit operating systems, because everybody generally will be using a 64-bit operating system, is the ability to access larger amounts of memory. I can't remember with the 32-bit server or even an operating system. I think the limit is either 32 gig or 64 gig. I can't remember. It might be 32. It's one of those. It's a very limiting amount in terms of how much data can be passed in and out. So if your RAM is full, your kind of RAM, you're having to hand off to disk, because you have to offload stuff onto disk to then put it back into memory. And that can be so time consuming. Obviously, RAM, random access memory, is so lightning fast. Even with like SSDs and stuff like that, it is a lot quicker. So having the ability of accessing through 64-bit servers, I think it's unlimited. I think it's some ridiculously high amount of RAM. It might be something like 256 terabytes of RAM you can access with a 64-bit server. So that would kind of get rid of that issue. Obviously, again, you've got to have more RAM installed. Again, it's another cost that's kind of bringing in. But they have said that they've seen a reduction in hitches from our tests, but we want to see if the same result will appear for the players. Our charts show that performance has improved over the last 2 years, but it still feels bad when you experience it firsthand. Yes. So it's kind of, the problem has lessened slightly, but it's still present. So, you're still going to be aware of it. You're still going to be, especially in the busy periods, like Sunday afternoon here in the UK, maybe around 3-4 o'clock, when there's a lot more players playing, not only in the UK and Europe and across the world, pretty much. The lag can intensify, and you have the old the warning, should we say, that everything is reduced in performance, and what can you do? There's not a lot you can do in that instance, but they're hoping that this will kind of mitigate it somewhat. Again, they said, and they were quite honest about it, that it's not going to eradicate it, but it's going to improve it, and they're hopeful that these performance improvements will be noticeable. The testing on the Legend servers will eventually come to the rest of the servers. 64-bit servers will slowly move through the other worlds with a preference to those with the largest populations. So pretty much, if this goes well in terms of the test servers for Mordor and Angmar, then being on something such as Evernight, which is one of the busiest servers, then they'll roll it out there first. Because obviously that's one of the largest populations. Since the Endeavour can be expensive, we aren't sure if we'll apply them to smaller worlds or if they would need them. So if you're on one of the lesser servers that maybe doesn't suffer from the lag issues, dropping performance, etc., long loading times, you might not see a change. So obviously there's some hardware cost there, isn't there? Because obviously the expensiveness of switching to 64-bit servers does imply that there's some cost of hardware, and again, it's all this needs paying for, and that's paid for from expansions and VIP and spending in the store with real money. Otherwise, you can't pay all the staff, whether they're engineers, the artists, producers, Q&A, support, whatever it is. They've all got to earn a wage. So adding on more cost has to be paid somehow. Otherwise, it just, you shut the doors. So servers currently run out of memory, but we might be able to add 4 more server instances to the master server with the implementation of 64-bit servers for more capacity. It does depend on how much of a problem there will be as the network requirements grow. We'd rather start with seeing the results from how a standard server capacity goes before making any further plans. I mean, obviously, you can't just open the floodgates for everything, because if you do, all of a sudden, if you need to stem the tide, you can't, because all of a sudden, I'm using so many different analogies here. The horses are bolted, and you're kind of screwed. So it's going to be progressive. If they think, okay, well, this is working, this is handling, let's take a little baby step forward, and then another one, and it has to be progressive. I was going to say, if you don't, all of a sudden you're in the poo-poo, which isn't going to be great for any player experience, not just us in Europe or whatever. If they launch things too quick, too often, then you could hit an absolute stumbling block, and then it's very difficult to roll that back. This was actually quite interesting. The pathing system for enemies is actually something that causes quite a bit of lag, funnily enough. So as we examine the pathing system in both our games, so this is obviously Dungeons and Dragons Online and LOTRO, we wanted to check. We noticed how a creature would constantly spam the system. This was more noticeable when several small creatures all spawn at once. We want them to check less often so this problem doesn't happen. So if you pull a group of mobs in a camp, for example, maybe even in a dungeon or whatever, all of a sudden you get a shit ton of spiders chasing after you, and you go to a place that could possibly exploit them, I think would be a good example. They were constantly sending, like, how do I get here? How do I get here? That kind of information. And they had to constantly ask for the best way to get to that specific spot that they wanted to get to. Now, obviously, sending that amount of data backwards and forwards, and you could have, 3 people in a group that are doing this, or you could have, 100 people doing this all at once. And that can all, obviously, increase the lag because of the requests that they were making. So it was quite interesting to see that they kind of identified that with their engineers. We're still looking at serialization, but we're aware that this shouldn't be an immediate concern with the number of newly made characters on the legendary servers. Now, if I remember serialization, from that, it's when you transfer or bring a character over on a normal server, you have hundreds of quests. Literally, the quest system has grown beyond proportion. We've known about this before, and they've said, it's not something that is ideal. It isn't something that we really we like to see. So initially, the serialization in terms of brand new players is, you might get some, VIP kind of rewards for being, all the anniversary stuff. Everybody knows when they create a new character, if you've been around the game for any length of time and you get the anniversary stuff, all of a sudden your bags are half full, because literally you've had gifts of all these different things. Obviously, not having as many quests because literally starting new, there isn't as many quests in the game because obviously you're capped at level 50. Are all going to help. So I think, as they've said, it's kind of shouldn't be a problem initially, but they do want to look at it. So it takes time for a full character to be broken down and streamed from one server to another. The quest system and inventory are 2 things that increase serialization. We've managed to keep inventory at a fixed level. However, there is a heavy load as characters get bigger and move from one place to another. So this could be why we don't ever see more storage space, or we haven't seen storage space increase for quite a while because of this. If more people have more slots, the more that it has to be, pulled data. So you can see there's a definite reason for not doing that because the impact that it has so massively on the performance of the game. Right, Q&A. So this was just a little Q&A section that they did pretty much through a lot of the remainder of the stream. So multi-factor authentication, obviously a lot of people have been talking about this, and it's been it's been a thing that's been required for a long time. And they're still working on it. Now they've got the new store implemented, and they want to finish the new launcher, and then that will be the focus after that. I think it's going to be a good thing. I think it keeps. I think once you've logged in for a little while, I think you said you'd like to have it so that you didn't have to keep doing it every time. Now, for me, that doesn't bother me. I would rather that each time I log in, I have to use two-factor authentication. Now, interestingly, this is going to be a little way off, but currently the game launcher for me doesn't always work. So I have to use the one launcher because the game launcher, for whatever reason, just starts up and then quits, which I always find quite baffling. So if they introduce any kind of two-factor authentication, that might force the one launcher not to work. That's going to be an interesting one. We'll have to see on that. Just thought of that. Next up was we have a lot of current work to get through, including the new hobby, before we can work on the kinship refresh. I know this has been coming for many, many years. We have a number of things we would like to do, but we have to pick up only the best features to implement. Again, it's people can suggest things, and the devs can, look at possibly implementing some of those things. But it boils down to time, engineers, and the availability of those said people to actually do those things. It's so Final Fantasy 14 requires every single time, every damn time, and I hate having to have my authenticator always near me since it's one of my tablet computers, which is a pain. Okay, because I've kept in the bedroom most of my life. Let's see, like where one login retains the system long term. Okay, it could be that. I mean, I have seen systems where once you log in, you can kind of tick a box and say, don't ask me again for 30 days or something like that, which is, a possibility. But for me, because my authenticator is on my phone, I always have that to hand generally, is that I would prefer it every time. And just say, right, you want to log in? Yeah. Okay. You're gonna log in, and you're gonna need to use your authenticator. So that for me is a preference. I can imagine it's more irritating for other people as well, but yeah, having it on a phone or tablet or whatever, then yeah, definitely. I mean, you can, I don't actually know whether you can have an authenticator split across various devices. I'm not entirely sure, but for me, I'd rather that everybody's account were permanently safe to a degree. Nothing is foolproof. Whereas, when you imagine if somebody lost an account that they've had for 17, 18 years, yeah, that's going to be painful. Oh, marvelous. So in terms of if they can make the every time an option, that's cool. But I'd like to have an option other than requiring yes, or then it can be on multiple device. Google at least. I have it on two tablets, both in the bedroom. Okay. Say if you can, yeah. I mean, I use the Google Authenticator and a few other different authenticators, depending upon the product. I think if it's transferable in terms of having it on various devices, then I still say that even if they give authentication and then somebody, for whatever reason, has a keylogger on there or whatever, somebody will lose an account and they say, I used an authenticator. And they'll be like, did you tick the box to say that you didn't want to use the authenticator for 30 days? Somebody would say yes. And then it'd be like, well, that's your own fault. You should have, So there's always that option. There's always somebody that's going to get done. There's ways around multi-factor authentication. It's just make it difficult. It's like burglars, they're opportunists. Give them as tough a time as possible to actually get into your stuff. So don't leave your doors open on a night unlocked kind of thing, because, it makes it more difficult. If you lock the door, yeah, it makes it more difficult. That kind of stuff, you can always, improve your own safety. And I think if people said, right, there's a chance, we can't tell you the percentage chance of you losing your account, if you use a tick box, would you rather have the tick box there, or would you rather have to use the authenticator every time, and then you pretty much you reduce your chances of being losing your account to malicious actors tenfold? Which would you rather have? Mate, I'd take the authenticator every time, because I think having something nearby, whether it's on a tablet, laptop, whatever, wherever you got it, on a mobile phone rather, that to me is easy. Now, obviously, a lot of it's to do with shared access. Some people have shared access, and if you know, one of your younger siblings, for example, decided to load up your game, and all of a sudden you've got the tip box put there for not using an authenticator, blah blah blah. Oh, I'm playing his game, and you're coming back, and all of a sudden your whole game is like wiped because the little shit's been on there and sold all your stuff or whatever. There's always that, isn't there? So I would prefer it was always on. The other option is that if you're not going to have to, I can imagine it's not forced, because sometimes you in a lot of accounts you can put the tick box on to say, do you want to use the authenticator or not? So that would be the other option, but personally I think it should be on, and then everybody does it. Yeah, obviously, if you're the only person in a household, then you're unlikely to have that problem with a shared access. But obviously, people do get hacked, lose their accounts when obviously it isn't a sibling, it isn't somebody within their own home. It's obviously somehow they've leaked the password, or whatever spoofing has happened. I mean, I don't generally know how they do it, but it's very, very clever. That's why multi-factor authentication isn't a permanent way to cover yourself, but it's definitely there. And I think the work and the time that it takes to implement these features, that everybody should use them. And even if it means on my other account, I have to, every time Magic wants to log in, I have to tell her the password, whatever the code. Then I'd do that because I'd rather not. It's an optional thing. Fair enough. My thing, I don't have it on at all, but it's on the account. I don't care. Yeah. So I think whatever pathway they choose, somebody's not going to be happy. But I would rather that it's on and people make use of it, because every now and again people do lose their accounts, and that would be quite gutting for a lot of people. So birding obviously is the new hobby that's coming into the game in update 41. The engineering portions are done, the art is still being looked at, animations are not quite there yet, as they currently are only using default animations. There also is a concern with the audio. With so many types of birds, we won't be able to add every kind of subspecies. So obviously you're not going to be able to get, you might see a swallow, for example, but you're not going to get the European or Asian swallow kind of thing. It's going to be a swallow. So, we're not going to get narrowed down, like you might have a gull, for example, but you're not going to have a herring gull. You're not going to have anything that, they're not going to break it down to that kind of refinement. If you get a swan, you get a swan. You're not going to get mute swans. You're not going to get this kind of, you're not going to get, it just has to be simplified to a degree. So this, somebody said that they're not ready to talk about the expansion yet, but people have deduced that they're heading in the direction of Harad, obviously, because it's right next to where we are currently. Although I've not been over into Umbar for quite a while. Hunter balance is on the shorter list of classes to be looked at and discussed in one of the meetings, but there are no promises it will be available for update 41. In terms of the Hunter, they are kind of in a bit of a bad place at the moment. In terms of DPS, it's very strange how they've kind of fallen out of grace. In terms of being the utmost. They're still the easiest class to play, but they're not doing the best DPS currently. People are swapping them out and playing things like a champ, for example, for higher DPS. But if you like that class and you're not bothered about kind of end raidy stuff, then they're still fine. Discussions are still being made on what Rivendell housing will be like. It would be premature to announce any news on that right now, so we're not going to see that for a while. They've got an awesome technical lead with a proof of concept for putting in the code for the UI. The game currently lets you scale a lot of the non-static interface. Okay, this was a question regarding 4K, because we know I'd like to play the game in 4K. There's a lot of elements within the game that already do scale, but there's certain issues with some of the interface that doesn't scale. So they're looking at trying to get around that to allow players to basically play in 4K. Now it's very much a first world problem, but even with like 1440p, sometimes the UI can be a little bit on the small side. Depending upon the size of your screen. It could be if you're playing 1440p on a 24-inch screen, it could be a little bit small. You might need to, improve it. So anyway, they're doing work in that direction, but they've got a bit of work still to do on it. The problem apparently does come from when applying to certain kinds of panels. There are ones that are both static and have scaling elements that currently undoes the application during testing. So more work to be done on that. They were asked about adding more wardrobe space. They probably could, but again, they've got to be careful because it's the whole serialization and talking to the servers and that it does put more strain on things. The Elven Avatar update is targeted for this fall. They've got artists that work on both games already working on the weeds for that update, so obviously they're doing some work to bring that along. Right, there's some. I'm just paraphrasing kind of these are responses, but I'm trying to remember the actual question. So some people have said, are we going to get kind of the ability just to fast travel straight on a horse permanently? So if you go to a stable master, you might be, I don't know, Southbury, and then you choose to go to, I don't know, I don't know. Where the fuck would we go down there? So the last bridge before you go into what was it, Eton Moors there. Shit, I've forgotten the place. Anyway, the last Forsaken Inn, yeah, around there. You can have the option of swift travel or just normal horse route. Now, most people generally take the swift travel, and people are saying, can we just have it instantaneous? So as soon as you choose that horse, you don't get on the horse, you don't trot along and then disappear and then reappear. They just want to be appearing straight at the destination. They said that they're probably going to leave it as it is because some people still enjoy the experience of traveling from A to B on a slow horse. I mean, sometimes I do. Maybe I'm taking a break from the stream or whatever, and you put yourself in first person mode and then off you go, and I'll go take a quick break. We know that sometimes it can take a little while to get there. I wonder actually which is the longest horse route in the game. I actually wonder it is. Which you can pick from one destination to the next. What is the longest? I think one of the longest is Westgate to Trestlebridge always takes a little while. Westgate to Bray. But when you go from, is it Saradan's camp, and that can take you to the bottom of Rivendell to Echadunan. Yeah, that does take a while. Skiliath to the camp of the host, possibly, yeah. Yeah, Saradan's camp to the bottom of Amonsul is one that takes a little while. But yeah, I think something along the lines of, Skiliath to the camp of the host might be a while. It'd be interesting to know, actually, which is the longest one. Totally, first world problem, like, what is it? What actually takes the longest amount of time? So, but yeah, they said that they want to just leave that immersion in for everybody. To have an option. So if you want to take a slow horse, you take a slow horse, which I think is still quite good. So having people in the world blink, this was brought about because they said that all the NPCs that you speak to just stare at you. They never blink. And that's very difficult to do as a human being because obviously your eyes dry out. So they've said that it's probably not going to happen. I wouldn't expect it anytime soon. So they're working on they're working with the level tech so that players will be able to go back and help your friends at a comfortable difficulty without too much of a struggle. So this is the previous comment where they've said, if I'm level like 150, I want to go help my new friend who's just come into the game, who's like a level 15. Now, if you go there and just group up with them, you just obliterate everything. But they want to be a way where they can kind of scale you down. They've said that and I think we've had this conversation before where they said they want you to scale up, but you'll always scale down. So you're always coming from powerful to less powerful, should we say. And I think that's something that would be better, just because it helps, like I said, new players get into the game. It's like, yeah, I can come and give you a hand. I can lead you, various places, but I can't. Because obviously when you're in a fellowship with somebody who's very high level, you can be too strong then. And the other player, yeah, they probably get some XP, but they get a lot less because you are so high level and then you literally one-shot everything, which isn't always ideal. So, and I think it gives the possibility of enjoyment for a high-level player to go back and play the lower levels, and go back and do some other content because you can then experience it. Now, it could be that this kind of tech, if they could get it working and get it right, would be usable to go back for higher level players, go back to do lower level instances. I'm sure they're thinking about that anyway. We're working on a token system that you can do for rewards. We prefer for players to willing to engage with the system simply to help friends, but we're also aware of ones who are only here to improve their characters. We still want players to have a desire to do new content. We might make it a reward for assist kinship members. We still don't know all the specifics, so they're going to work out those out. We'd have to evaluate how the script works for challenges inside instance and see it doesn't require us to change each and every one of them. So, yeah. Yeah, I think with them saying that they're kind of working on a token system so what you can do for rewards, there's a possibility that would be something that they might implement, so that you'd have to like entice people to kind of do this system. But it'd be interesting. Who knows? So while not currently in their backlog, they want to copy the system in Dungeons & Dragons Online to implement a barter that provides promotional content you can choose at any time to obtain, instead of throwing everything in your inventory when you create a new character. So okay, that would be quite cool then. So instead of what we were talking about earlier, when you create a new character, if you've been around for a long time with all the anniversary stuff, you get given a ton of this, and it takes up a lot of your bag space, and you have to filter through it before you can even start playing. So looking at that, so they're implementing a barter that provides promotional content you can choose at any time to obtain yourself. Obtain, instead of throwing everything in your inventory when you create a new character. So maybe you can go up to them and say, right, I want this, and then just go from there, just to swap it and, almost have it as a kind of extra vault. Just say, look, I want this, let me have it. It was like with the rings that we got from the latest expansion. You can claim the box twice, and that's what I have on my characters, is that I've got 2 of the rings because they give me plus 25% XP boost. So yeah, they're not as powerful, but they do level with you as well. But it's an extra 25%, and then if you put another one on, it's another 25%. So it's good that you can go get them twice. Is it possible for us to implement carry-alls for any items that do not change their properties when they drop? However, a player will still not be able to use something from within a carry-on. This was, I think, a chat question. And that was Cordovan that said, about putting a carry-all within the carry-all, because obviously that would be like kind of the bag of holding from Harry Potter or whatever it is, where you literally can put a big bag of stuff into another bag. And they said that they don't want that to happen. However, there's certain items that the properties never change, which you should be able to just put straight into a carry-all and get even more of your guff out of it. I do think a lot of within LOTRO we have too many barter coins. We have too many different types of coins. I know I've mentioned it before, but when we look at the wallet and you see how many barter things there are, they could break that down to like not even a regional system. I don't want to say a regional system, but you could break it down to even less. In terms of, you know, what we actually have. You know, we have all these different festival tokens, and I know it's to force people to do the festivals. But when you've got Winter Festival, you've got Summer Festival, you've got Spring Festival, you've got the Farmers Fair festivals, and all manner of other festivals, you kind of end up with tokens. Now, you can barter for them, if I remember correctly, for the different ones. So if you've got some of a certain type, you can barter them across. But I just, you know, I really think a lot of our tokens in our wallets could go. You know, we've got stuff that nobody ever interacts with now. I mean, I would probably look in my wallet and look at some of the things that I've got, and I'd be like, yeah, obviously it's always a loss. But this is something that I'm just about to touch on as well, is that when you look at your wallet and all the things that are in there, I would look at them and go, I can't remember where that's from. Now, you could possibly work it out from the name, but you'd be like, okay. The other thing is, I think everything should be on account, not just... Okay, I won't say everything, but I mean 90% of what your stuff should be per account. So if you do these festivals on a specific character, allow it for everybody. Every character on your account, you know. But yeah, for the regards of barter, obviously it's implemented already for the token system for the festival and stuff like that. If that technology is there, why don't we see it? Or it should be something that we should see for our legendaries. You know, why don't we have our the ability to barter for enhancement rooms? Always set a loss, yeah. So you maybe want 3 level 141 yellows, will give you 1 of the purples, whatever. You know, there's always got to be a way to barter them up. Even if it's like levels below, you know, like the 131s max and the 141s, you can only barter that way. I just think that it's too restricted and too grindy. And that's why I really don't bother with a lot of my characters, trying to get them to, you know, full-on cap of any description when it comes to the legendaries. Somebody asked about the virtue system. Redesign the virtue system isn't something we can begin talking about until at least 2025, so it's definitely not going to be this year. I keep thinking, I thought that's like a year and a half away, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's only like 6 months away. Oops. And even if they had something to announce, they would wait. Well, they wouldn't announce it really, because it would not wait people. We like our current system where we only need the virtues you can slot, but still earn bonuses from any that you do not have slotted. Somebody wants to do a new instrument. Somebody on the dev team, Orion, adds in chat that it's a hurdy-gurdy and it's still on hold for the time being. So that's going to be a wonderful sounding thing, isn't it? Not. So there was factors that prevented the team from adding to Bull Roar this week. While birding may be available on Bull Roar next week, there should be still something new to test. It may not be available. There are portraits run for the birding hobby. Sevelin knows that he makes a release date at the time, usually has to stick with it. There will then be no surprises when update 41 will release. Meanwhile, Orion is in the chat giving no date, not a date, a time frame for mid-July, and that's for obviously update 41. And then yeah, they do want to work on festival stuff for next year, but there is nothing to announce. So, yeah. But yeah, if you go to this thread on the Discord, it's Q&A with Sevelin on the legendary servers by Weird Jedi. I think that's Fibro Jedi, if I remember correctly. There's a lot of complaints from people, but you know, no matter what you do, whether you give anything away for free, whether you do anything in the best interest, there's always somebody going to complain about it. Trust me. So yeah, interesting little dive there into what is all possibly coming to the game. Obviously, the new legendary servers is the big thing. I think that's going to be something I'll definitely dive into because I think it'd be good to see just how this kind of works. Tying in with, if we look at like Sam Rizvin, who's my level 100. Let me just log him in actually. Yeah, they just have to actually do it, but I think I don't know the team size, and the team is split as well. With obviously Dungeons and Dragons Online as well as LOTRO, so I don't actually know how big, how big the team actually is. So I think there's a lot on their plate, a lot of things that they'd like to do, but it's having that time and ability to do it. So yeah. Title awarded apparently Merrymaker. Okay. Remote instances, or if it needs you. Email. Greet them. Thank you very much. There we go. I'm not going to open them on here. But yeah, for instance, obviously, Sam Rizvin, he is. He's got Burst of Swiftness on there. Where is that one? Difficulty 3, Fearless, obviously. Again, more experience from monster kills and plus 5% virtue XP earned as well. But the problem is the Eye of Sauron. I think it just kicks in way too often. You're already kind of fighting on a higher difficulty. And then the Eye of Sauron kicking in can be just an absolute pig. So if you added this kind of scenario in, along with having to deal with lesser wraiths, greater wraiths, and possibly one of the 9 turning up, then okay, with the one of the 9, they're just going to be big events, world events where people would have to get there. But again, the legendary servers are just going to be in level 50 cap. How are you doing, Mr. Floyd Pinkerton? Hello, indeed. So it's going to be interesting to see how they all pan out over the coming months. So yeah, we'll definitely create a character on the servers, make several, because obviously it's on a per server basis, so you can make as many as you like, maybe one of each type. Again, a lot of people will be diving onto those servers just to reserve their names. So it could be that, you know, you've got, you know, your favorite names that you want to have again. You know, it could be people that are, you know, somebody might want spam, you know, for yes, because names are always on a per server basis. Yeah, so there'll never be another Sam Rizvin on Evernight, for example, but there could be another Sam Rizvin on another server, for example. But yeah, I'm sure people will dive onto these who are VIPs just to kind of grab the name, even if they're not going to make the character, they just want to dive on there just to grab it. So, huh? What? Oh yeah. Because you can craft a load of names. Oh, so you can create a character and just, even if it never does anything, it's just there then. And then if you ever decide to. Remember as well, obviously, with regards names, and some people do this, is even if they just go on and create a character as, I don't know, say Spam as a Guardian, he's on here. If you delete that character, I think the name gets held for just a little while, not often, just a little while, or not long rather, just for a little while, and then it becomes available again. So it could be that people, what they used to do is, I remember this back in the day, I grabbed the name so-and-so because I was on, and you don't anything, you just literally create the character so that name is reserved. And then your friend might be saying, I wanted the name so-and-so. And he'd be like, hey, don't worry, I'll create a character with that name. You would then, that person would come online and say, right, I want to start to create a character. And the other person would say, right, I'm going to delete this character that's got your name that you want. So, like, for example, if I was here and the new server launched, for example, and Magic wanted to have the name Mel Wedreth and she wanted to make sure that nobody else got it, then I could create a character called Mel Wedreth. When she comes onto the server and she wants to create a character, I would then delete the character that's on my account called Mel Wedreth, and that would then release the name, and then she could pick it up, for example. So, but there might always be a little delay, so you'd have to create your character, and then just as you get the name ready, I would delete the other character, and then you would keep trying to hit create character. You know, you kind of have to be careful, especially some of the more popular names, should we say. You know, there's always, you know, Legolas with 2 S's at the end. You know, I don't know why you ever want to do that, but, you know. So, now on that one, 75,000 XP. Finish now for that one, 75,000 XP. Nice, 150,000 XP just for clicking on those 2. So, yeah, we're not actually going to play Sam Ridgevin. We're going to log out from there. But, what do you think to the potential changes with the new Legendary servers? I know, obviously, Keep's been saying his point as we've been going through, but I'm looking forward to it. And also from the technical viewpoint of 64-bit servers, how they're going to improve performance. Now, could be that, you know, initially things look fabulous and wonderful because there's not many players on the new server. There's not going to be the lag from the serialization. And obviously the 64-bit as well should help. So it's going to be a kind of, I think, a culmination of a lot of things rather than just one thing. So we shall see. Right. Where are we? Farkoff. He is in Ered Mithrin. Let's carry on with the Mincer. Let's see what she's been up to. So, yeah, I've been talking for over an hour. Magic's just trying to be cheeky. Trying to be funny. Right, here we are. Oh, yeah, we got to Scarl, didn't we? Yes, of course we did. We got to Scarl. Oh, crap. My thingy's run out, hasn't it? Yeah. Flip. Right, so I need to go back to my house. Oh, hang on. Let's just go down and put a milestone, then I can come straight back here. Whoop. Yeah. I know one of the comments on the YouTube video was, when are you going to fix the lag? When are you going to fix the lag? And this, that, and the other. And it just absolutely batters my head against the wall that people are so dense that they think that they can just cure lag. Every game has it. Every game. There is always a delay. It cannot necessarily be fixed just by shouting at somebody saying, fix the lag, fix the lag. LOTRO is an old engine and it suffers due to it being an old engine. And obviously improvements can be made, but you can't fix everything. You really can't. And then people are like, when are you going to move it to a new engine? Again, hate to break it to you. Very expensive to do. Not always possible. There we go. Right. So I'm just going to do that. And then we are going to go to our house. Oop. Down and down and down we go. Boop. I mean, this character is quite an old character. She's been around quite a long time. But, I mean, just for this character, and like I say, she's not done as many quests or missions as others. But she's got 2,787 completed missions in her log. And 51 of 55 missions available. That's not what I wanted. So you can see why the whole quest system just kind of
Hello, friend. Could you
has
help
gone
me with
wild.
What can I do for you?
That and caused such an issue with the performance, and especially if you start trying to copy those players across to other servers as well. So you can see why they've kind of like, no, let's not do that. Thank you. Right, hobby gifts. Let's have a look. We've got a basic and one universal ingredient pack. So it's 100 virtue and a 400. Oh, we've got the gold winter elven leaf war steed cosmetics. Okay. I don't think I'll bother with that. And can we actually put these into our shared storage? I think we were full the last time I looked. Yeah, shit, we're full. Oops. Look at that. I don't know. Right, let's just sell that. 'Cause that's rubbish. I don't need that wintry sconce, so I'm going to get rid of that. Look at this one. So this one is Gift of Yule's Pass selection box. Okay, so we can get a Winter Hobby Deer, Yule Hobby Horse, Training Snow Brawler. You already got that Winter Birdhouse. Tome of the Present Bearing Pet Pony. Okay. Go of the Winter Cheer. Okay, we'll get the Elka Festive Spirit. That's quite cool. We'll go for that one. Let's go for that one. Up. We'll buy that to us. There we go. Nice. Fly just flew in. There we go. So yeah, we can plug that into there. 400 can go into there. I'm still keeping hold of some of these. So that's the Elven Leaf. Is that Elven Leaf as well? That's the gold vase. Hang on. That give us rubbish. Okay, so we can disenchant that, can we? Cool. Disenchant that then. Cool. Gone. Marvellous. That can go into there. Excellent, Smithers. Yeah, I think disenchanting a lot of things can be very, very helpful. Right, let's head back then. Which is where I'm missing. Right, there we are. So, double check. So, we're gonna find a few things in here, aren't we? Finding all these bits and pieces. Little chest over there. Let's grab that. I don't care. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you. Hope you're well. Hope you're taking a bit. Be over here. Oh. Oop, hello. That way. Yeah, for the last hour or so, we've been talking about all the changes with the Legendary server. So you'll be able to find it on YouTube if you want to catch up with that hour later on, discussing the various things that are looking funsies and coming with very shortly as well. So yeah, I mean, we can still discuss it. I don't have a problem with it going back over stuff and things like that if you do have anything particular want to. Yeah, like I say, I put the link in my Discord as well for the information that Weird Jedi did a wonderful job of collating, because that kind of really helped tie everything together, and it served me doing it. Okay. nothing of interest. One of these is the Eastern Arch. I don't know if this counts. No, it doesn't. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, I watched it very late on last night. When we finished doing the dev stream with for work, we moved on to just having a little bit of a chill. So I thought I'd watch it. And there we go. It was like gone midnight by the time we finished. Like what the? I know, it just all flew by very quickly. You having a beer? Wow. Sometimes you always feel like that. Expedition supplies up there. Okay. I was just checking that there's nothing else around here. There. Oh. Okay. Yeah, right. There's that one there. There's another one over there, which is the old chest. Oh. Let's just have a quick look, actually. So, yeah, well, this is the whole issue I have with the wallet, is that we've got Amroth silver pieces, Central Gondor silver pieces, geodes, gift giver brands, gold tokens of Wildemort, golden tokens of Riddermark, golden tokens of the Wild. I mean... we have so much stuff that I just think... I mean, ancient scripts, obviously, I can understand, yeah, obviously, because that's to do with the item advancement. But it's like embers I'm capped at, moats I'm capped at. I don't know what to spend half of them bloody things on. Lockstones, yeah, obviously for the crafting. Anticipation ribbons. You know, and commendations, obviously, that's for monster play. I can't actually believe I've actually been in monster play with this character, but I must have done at some point. But I do think that this could all be trimmed down. Massively trimmed down. Hey then, yeah, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you. Hope you're well. Up. Let's just do that. Onto there. Fabulous, darling. I found an old map. Wow. Cool. So we need to be up there, don't we? Next level. You're doing great. I'm glad to hear it. Fabulous to hear. Yinya is doing great. That means that the world is in balance. If we know that Yinya is doing great, the world is at peace.
Watch your footing. It is a long way to the very floor below.
Cool. Nicely done, say Yinya. Yeah, she's going to be coming along doing the streaming malarkey. She's doing fabulous. Go check her out. Well, not literally in a pervy way, you know, if you want to see what how she streamed. Excellent. Excellent. Inya broke her sub-virginity this morning. There we go. Always good. Nutley, how you doing? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you, sir. How are you? Chamber of study. Do we need to be? I think I do we? Let's go in. Oh, let's just check. Let me know. I won't mind being checked out in a pervy way. I am old and lonely. Ah, you're never lonely. Age is a thing. Age is a thing. Oh, Nutley. You loaded up Everspace 2. Wow, sorry. Planet Side 2. Yeah, I've definitely not played that in years. It was a good game in its time, but by God, was it painful. Do you know the amount of grief whenever I mention anything about Planet Side 2? from various people when I said, Jesus, on Miller, when we were on there, we used to get stomped by the TR, and everybody said, TR, you got to be the blah, 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 blah. They're easy. And I'm like, were you even on the same bloody server at the same time? Because it was bloody painful. Absolutely painful. Right, okay. Do go up here somewhere. Itchy snots. Frozen page, not what I need. Do I need to be in here for something? Oh yeah, inside Tharazar, the Keep of Scarhold. Let's hello, people running around. How are you doing? There's Corbat.
It has been many hundreds of years since any dwarves lived in this place.
The levels of the players killing me was silly. Yeah, I bet they're just ridiculously high in comparison. I couldn't even tell you what where I got my character to be fair.
Frostblood, and he seemed quite impressed.
Right, so yeah.
He must have seen me. It was he of the
4,000 range, Jesus.
the
Let's have a little trouble now.
warrior.
That's just ridiculous.
Is near the location where LOTRO encountered the Weeping Warrior. Where then has he gone?
Yeah, it is Nutley, yeah. Boto's he's behind us. He's still talking Boto's and he's still listening behind you. Oh, he's there. You've been quite a bit. Get the possible run the fans on to everything. Yeah, I mean, that's what we'll plan to do. Trip down to London. Stay overnight and yeah, go to the event. Probably stay overnight and then come back the following day. So it'll be all good. Oh, Botos, he's still behind you. Never wear such a mask, yet there you are with a big helmet on your head. Deprive our Jaluka women of handsome visage, never. Fevora, thank you very much for the follow, much appreciated. Welcome along, hope you're doing well. No worries, Inyo. Have a good snooze. Hello, Fevora. Welcome. Who are you? Normally I do have the Gandalf hat on, by the way, but it's too warm here. We've finally officially, I think, hit summer here in the UK. So. Too bloody warm. Oh, don't he rattle on? I never realised he prattled on this much. Da, da, da. How you doing, Yanko? How are you? Hello. Hope you're both well. Johnny Rockets TV, thank you very much for the follow. So you're super new to this game. What is there to do when I finish all the main story quests? Oof. That is going to take you many, many months. Yes, because of all the expansions and everything, you've got a hell of a lot to do. So yeah, even if you were playing, even if you're an experienced player, it still take you a good many months average play time to finish the story. And obviously we're constantly getting new expansions. We had one last year. We've got another possibly smaller expansion coming later this year as well. So yeah, there's plenty to do, but there is obviously high level instances and raids to do as well. Repeatable things called delvings you can do as well. So there's lots to get into. It'll take you a while to get there, to be fair. So what I say to all new players, enjoy the game. Enjoy the storyline. You're very lucky to, from an older player's point of view, that you're just getting into the game because you've got so much. Yeah, the dungeons are kind of called instances and raids, so you can go in like 12-man raids, or like 6-man instances, for example. So there's stuff to do like that. Yeah. But yeah, whatever you do, just enjoy the journey. Don't rush it. Follow the storyline. You're all kind of around the books. It's based around the books, so we're following those. How you doing, Sneakies? Rather than the TV, sorry, the TV one, definitely not Rings of Power, but the movies, the Peter Jackson movies, everything's based around the books. So we'll have access to certain things that are in the books, but you know, none of the stuff that happens in the movies. There is a certain limitation on that score, but yeah, just take it nice and steady. Enjoy the class that you're playing. If you don't enjoy it, switch it, change to a different character, create a new one, and try it through there. So yeah, just enjoy the time that you got in it. There we go. Right, that's all the jibber jabber done. The most fun character class in the game, that's very difficult to answer because it depends on what style you like to play. So for example, if you like ranged DPS, then you might want to play a hunter. If you like to be a tank, you're looking at a guardian. If you want to be a good support class, you might be a captain or a lawmaster. A minstrel could be a healer. That's very difficult to answer. I have generally one of everything. The only one I don't ever really play is the warden. I was never a fan. So you're playing a man at the moment. Okay, what class are you playing? Because obviously there's different races, which is your hobbit, your dwarf, high elf, bjorning, obviously a man as well, male, female, whichever you want to be. But I mean, this is my female minstrel champion. Oh yeah, okay, so that's a decent combination. Yeah. So if you're whacking everything with swords, then generally, yeah, you're going to be playing as a champion, or axes, you know, whatever you're going to use. So yeah, it's
Karazgar thinks to frighten us with words,
not to do it.
but he overestimates their
Just get
power.
that to the boop.
Even so, I do not think Karazgar's words are without meaning.
Yeah. So Sneaky's like Hobbit burglars rule. Yeah, I mean, Hobbit burglars, to be fair, are the very archetypal thing. Obviously, they follow the whole look of Bilbo being the archetypal burglar, obviously from the Hobbit. I'm still into this game, but joining it for sure. Yeah, it's a very old style MMO. It's just celebrated its 17th birthday in April. So yeah, it's all you know. There's issues. It is with it being an older game, but I think it shines through with a.
Must prepare for Karazgar to attack at any moment.
It certainly shines through with the whole following the story. I don't think anything's captured it as good. But yeah, I mean, there's other MMOs that have been around for longer, but certainly in terms of a LOTRO game, this is definitely the longest that's been around. Certainly as an MMO anyway. But yeah, I've been playing it for probably about 18 years in total now because of the betas and everything that came out just before launch. Else through there, tether weapons should be the other side, hopefully. Yeah, Amazon are making a new MMO based on Lord of the Rings. They've got obviously a license as well. They originally were doing one about 3 years ago, but then it fell through because the company that they were using, a Chinese company, to help them develop it, were then bought out by Tencent, which is one of the big publishers in China. And then there was a lot of different things that they wanted from the deal to carry on developing it. So it ended up getting cancelled. But then they announced last year, did Amazon, that they were remaking another Lord of the Rings MMO, obviously with the license because of the Rings of Power TV series and everything. They're bringing that to fruition in a few years, but we don't know any details around it. So we're siege defenses outside the keep. Yep. So we have absolutely no idea what it's going to be like. I always think of New World. I don't know if you've heard of that MMO, which is obviously their big first kind of self-published, self-created MMO that they've done. How that's panning out, and there's a lot of backlash to that at the moment. So hopefully it won't be a precursor to what they're going to do with a Lord of the Rings game, because I think a lot of people will go and check it out, but it could be Amazon being Amazon and seeing it as some form of cash cow rather than a kind of a labor of love. Now, don't get me wrong, every game is there to be made money, because that's what you do it for. You don't do it for anything else. I mean, I work for a gaming company myself, but I'm well aware that the game and the creation of those games is there to make sales and have a pot of money so that they can create new things. I work for a company called Rockfish Games. We make Everspace 2 currently is our current project, which is a space looter shooter. Just for shits and giggles, it is currently 50% off on Steam, Humble Bundle, and Good Old Games. So if you haven't already dived in, you might want to check it out. We also have a free demo available on Steam, so you don't have to purchase. But if you do, any of your saves will cross over from the demo to the full game. Bargain. So yeah, I do implore people to check out the demo if you think it's something that's right up your street. Go check it out. In fact, I do have somewhere, and I don't know if I've put it on there. Sure if I do. Just see. I can't remember if I did have it under Everspace 2. I did. There you go. That is exactly the link that you need to head to. That's for the Steam demo as well. Right, so old chest. Let's go check out the old chest. There we go. Yeah, do check out the demo. Like I said, I always say to people, it could be that it's not your kind of game that you normally play, but it might be something that you want to check out. And a free demo for a lot of the early part of the game is available. But I'd rather people make sure it's their kind of game than splash out any cash and go, I didn't enjoy that. It wasn't my kind of game. So, yeah, do go check it. Check it. Right, let's go back to speak to Jury inside Thazazar. Some of this is some of the best music in the game. An epic feel to it. Whoop. Janky, sorry, you did ask a question. Let me just bring that back up. Got a question. Would you mind to give out how to stream? I've got some issues with it. I can certainly try and help you out. However you do, or however you're trying to stream. I don't know if you're trying to stream to YouTube or whether you're trying to stream to Twitch, whatever it is. Obviously, in terms of software,
Siege defenses seemed in a
you're
poor
definitely
state,
looking
even
at
to my casual eye.
OBS as the cheapest option because it's free. I do use XSplit generally because that's that is my choice. All that rumbling, and I've added license for that for many years because I've got a lifetime
Feel that?
license.
What is happening? Okay. Well, let's speak to Boto's Frostblood.
Has the Weeping Warrior worked some
Okay, talk to Durin inside the keep and defend Scarhal. So this will be the new... Okay, that's quite an increase. 370. Yeah, okay, let's do this one. Let's just carry on with this slight quest line. Get a nice cloak.
To battle! We will find Karasgard's weaknesses and exploit them!
Okay. Oh, yeah. This, hello. Running on the spot.
Skarhold is under attack!
Oh, yeah.
Karasgard seeks the fulfillment of his promise!
Yeah, this I've got to be careful with. This is one of those quests that you could all of a sudden get into a whole world of hurt. So, yeah, we just need to be careful here. I'm just making sure because I don't want to take on too many at once. I'm just going to stay right at the back if I can. And let him do the damage. Oop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Hello. Right, I'm just going to let him attack these because I don't want to take them on, because I don't want to pull them. Although to be fair, I could probably kill them quite easily. Johnny, to be fair, a lot of people don't click skills. I tend to, but I've just, it's always how I've done it ever since back in 2007. So yeah, a lot of people do use the buttons or the modifiers like control and shift. So yeah, it's just me. I'm kind of very old school in that sense, but some people do prefer the speed of using just the keyboard buttons. I love the fact when we come down here, we see like dwarves getting flung about in all sorts of directions. I think it's great. Hit by these big drakes normally. Please, there's go. These bodies flying in all sorts of directions. Come on, throw me another one. Throw me another one. Come on, throw him. Oh, boring. There he is. For now.
Behold the wrath of Karasgard! Not even dragonkind can withstand my might.
Oops.
I will return as promised.
Oh, it's all been pear-shaped. There we go, you see? All went wrong. Karasgar.
Karasgar toys with us. He had the advantage, but he did not press it.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's carry on with some of these other things that we need to... Okay, so isn't it in the brush?
Botus was supposed to lead us here in the Grey Mountains.
Oop. Every time I try and do something else, I get... oh,
I
yeah.
once believed the ill fortune
Right, so
of the
let's say that one.
Jurukka had
Basic
been
essences.
exaggerated by the gods.
Less tactical mastery. Definitely no... Okay. More will. Okay.
When Karasgar next attacks, we must be ready.
Okay, so this is introduction to the Veils, which is a 120. Even though we've kind of already done that one. Put that on. Perfect ballad damage. Let's have a little look. See this. Not on that one. Let's see. We're gonna. And is that one? No, maybe not. Okay, we'll leave it there for the time being. Okay, let's just carry on with these. Do some inspiring. Inspiring. Oop. Right. Zavo. Hello. Ooh. Ba-da-da. Ba-da-da.
It will take more than words to cure these ills. It will
You like them? Right, there.
Dur and ask to retrieve Botus's eggs.
Right, okay, so we still need to go on a little journey around here. Let me eat frozen pastry. Okay. Oh, hello. That did pick up a old chest. There, missed it. Ah, rubbish. Sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. Right. We'll go find the rest of these chests and expedition supplies and stuff. We'll find them somewhere. Like, oh, where are you? Where are you? Aha! Splat. Expedition supplies. Ah. Oop. Broke my legs. Bugger! Surveying equipment, yes. Little chest over there. Dip. Get that one. It's hiding behind there. The old chest there, yes, that's it. Yeah, I have my X key on my keyboard bound to kind of next item, so you can kind of tab target. You can tab target with obviously tab, But any other kind of item that you might be looking for, such as these chests and things like that, if you bind it to like the next item, you can keep clicking it, and then you can see it's picked up the surveying equipment. 'Cause sometimes you can't always see things. It's going to be a bit difficult, so using this certainly helps. Obviously, once it's gone, it disappears, but then you just keep tapping X as you're going along and see what it picks up. We will do eventually. Oh, hello.
My grandsire's beer.
No, we're not going to do that one. There's expedition supplies. Supplies! Little chest over there, hiding. Sneaky deakies. Right, okay, so we're off up these stairs somewhere. Expedition supplies there. Boom, 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 boom. Chest over there. Gimme, 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 gimme. Right, so we need one more of those. And we need 3 more surveying equipment and 3 more expedition supplies. Okay. Tap, tap. There we go. Nothing up there. So. A combination of the map as well. You can see the rings sometimes highlight where things are. Anything with the green areas or the larger areas aren't generally pinpointing where things are, but they're saying that things are in that area that you might need to find. There becomes certain mobs that you need to kill. And it could be just saying, hey, they're in this area, so have a look around here. Expedition. Expedition, supposition. No chest. Eee, split. Alright. Nice. Okay, so we can go back to Rooney for those. Okay. Down here we... Oh yeah, expedition supplies. Find some. Is this the last one? Yeah, it is. Good, good, good. Cool. Oh crap, yeah, we've got to go around again, haven't we? Ugh. Going around again. Right, Rooney, I think he's down here somewhere. Over there. I'm just going to speak to them. So we need to hand in these things.
A glorious day.
Glorious day. Right, let's get on here. Let's go on another little loop-de-loop. Oh. Don't know if they're down here. No, they're up. Okay. No, where I want to be. Up, up. Oh, okay, these are just burning the bodies of the dead drakes, swords and stuff. Ba-ba-da-da-da. Up, up, up. Do, 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 do.
I will wield this axe in memory of Portus. You have returned, but where is the axe of Boltu's Frostblood?
I see. I can't use this yet until 120. Oh, never mind.
Horin has assembled a raiding band to hunt for Karasgar.
It's a bit of a pain, really, because it'd be nice and handy that I could actually use it. Rubbish. Right. Oop. Drink. Oop. Quite handy that there's a surveyor and then the empty pack right next to it. Is always good. Oh yeah. Okay, that's just him, isn't it? Up here then. Let's see if we've got. We need 3 more. The surveys and the backpacks. This is that one. Empty pack there. Should be one, hopefully. There's there. Oh, Mr. Gelruka Surveyor. There we go. Right, then return to Orin. Hello. All that shit. Here he is.
You, Kizinek. We are not strangers here. Not truly.
Right, scout the Glimmer Deep. That's that Ember's, not worrying about that. Okie dokie, so let's just have a quick look there. So, oh, that's the wood trolls, isn't it? Gradzudru, Wizard in the Woods, Deer Hides, and for the Precious, Legolas at the Forest Gate, Vucho, out the Path to the Glimmer Deep. Funny enough, we kind of got to go there. Oh, what's that one? Mountain Highs is just a deer, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I'm level 118 and a half, and that's a 120. But there's this one to the Vales of Anduin. Because I kind of want to keep ahead of the mission level in terms of keeping that at like 120 while I'm like 118, 119. So I just know that I can do slightly higher levels. It seems a bit doing things on level. I think is it sounds wrong, below my ability, because I can take things out so easily on this. Like that. Hey doing, Protein? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Hope you're well. Okay. Your last bear. I don't think we are. Take it out anyway. The Mountain Heart. I knew that was going to do it. I knew it. Rubbish. Smack in the face. Thornholt branches, shall we? Not too shabby, thank you, Poutine. Not too shabby. How is the world revolving around Poutine going? Does it have some good Poutine shell? It was a bit of a stretch, that one. Excellent. There we go. Shouty, shouty. Bit more shouty. Angry bees. Road. Thank you. You can get whacked. Rubbish. Go over here and then up that slope there. A few deer on the way. Oh dear, oh dear. Release tower egg as well. Marvelous. Mountain hide. Oh. Right, one more behind, so we'll take this one out. Boink. Done. Steer hill. These are the last bears. Need wolves either. Doom 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 doom. Yo, ready. How you doing, ready? Let's get ready to rumble. Nah, we're not going to do that. Don't want to do the honey. Nope. Found him. So, yeah, let's head on the back of here if we can. Timber. Well. Oops, that was a very delayed crunch. One last bears, not what we need. Crunch. Hawks we don't need. Right, let's go on the steed. Steed indeed. Boop. Right, let's shoot along here then. The most westerly entrance. Scarhound. I don't know if this is. Oh, it is. Boink. Hello, Mr. Tower Rock. Boink. What is this one then? Is that? Okay, so that's just where are these guards then? Okay. Okay, we've missed them back here somewhere. Bloody missed them. Mm-hmm. There we go. For them too.
No good trusting Longbeards. That much I know. Who will look after us? Huh?
Yeah, see, there's no
Only
point in doing that one
ourselves.
because it's just it's going to give me a lesser reward than what I've already got. I need some more. Oh, hello. I was supposed to say we need some more tower rog. Yeah, it's very handy with the hunter around here because you can always track bloody tower rogs and all of the many creatures. Just have a look. Nope, not that. Whoop, hello, put that tree there. A tree. Come on, Tower Rock, where are you? Horrible with your name on it. There we go, there's one. And you. Cool. Wolf, Tower of Warrior. You. More. More. Right, one more. See, damn you, where are you? Tower Elder. Uh, and the last one that's always the most difficult to find. Oh, hang on, tagged it. Where is it? Boink. There we go. Another one done. Right, where? Oh, he's over here somewhere. Okay, so that's not too far. So this is one of the completion things where you've got to kill so many of the Tower Rog, but now we've got to find the leader. Over here somewhere, wandering, stomping around. Tower Rog Elder. Where are you? Chitter and complain. Sure he's... Oh, there he is. I'm going to say, I'm sure he's down here somewhere. Ugly spud. Ooh, red legs. I don't care. On. Go. Whoosh. Marvellous. Right. Okay, pan the grayling. That's just too far apart. More runes. We'll do that one. Cancel that one. Boring. That's in the Glimmer Deep. Not going to do that one. Mountain Highs. Let's just take that back to Horim. And then we shall see where we need to go for our next quest. Pause. Bum, ba, da, ba, da, bum. Handbrake turn. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Yep. Oh, hello. I was lucky. Oh, okay.
We are Sheruka. We
Ah,
are not.
Zeruka.
We look after our own.
Alright, let's go find Vutro, the West Wind. Kind of a continuation on this quest. There isn't he. Next level up. There he is.
I know why you are here.
I know why you are here. Told me to come and speak to you. Just help with my camera. Shows me where I need to be heading. This way. Got totally bloody wrong way. That way. So we're about 100, level 118 and 3/4. Too shabby.
If you wish to join Horin's raiding party, now is the time. We need to ensure Skarhald is ready if Karasgar does return.
Okay. Let's do this little book. Because these are level 120. This one, if I remember correctly, is just we go finding all sorts of weird shit underneath here.
You were sent here by the Longbeard Prince. Very well.
Ooh. One of these that you can find the way down very quickly, but if you're not careful, you can't find the way back up very quickly either. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo.
I think this tunnel served as an escape tunnel for the dwarves of Scarhold.
Right, return to during. In the war. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Well, very easy to get lost in here. Very easy. Things will just have started to respawn. Probably why we get to the top, so we'll put in on fighting some more stuff. Yeah, 'cause there's the hole in the wall, on the floor rather than the wall. Yep, there we go, crystal bat. Yeah. Yeah, you marvelous. Down and down. There we go. Oop. Da-da-da. Seemingly still loading my turbo. Bit of a bugger. There we go. Gandalf has joined us.
Look who it is! Are you acquainted with Gandalf the Wizard?
Right, so some of this stuff we can't use until we get to 120, so fortunately I can carry on with the storylines, just can't use the bloody rewards. Bagger.
Gandalf has come to Scarhold with a small band of Longbeards.
Yes, I am here. A raiding party of dwarves sought to oppose Karisgard at the Anvil.
Yo, Mudro, how's it hanging? What you doing?
You wish to hear about Hurin's expedition to the Anvil? The memory is painful. How much have the others told you of our expedition?
See what we got.
I think the dwarves are wrong. I believe Karisgar still lives. I have spent much of this time studying the Black Book, seeking to learn its secrets.
Secrets, eh?
Allow my words to paint a picture for you, my friend. A picture from long ago.
One of the best books in the game. Still safe, still safe. Halls of memory. Good old Voin. Go for a little journey. We've not made any further progress. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Dust from inside the PCs, really. Cleaning out our PCs today. Getting the dust in. Blasting out with some air. Burp, burp. Very clever how they like all of a sudden you come out that doorway and it's like, yay, you're in LOTRO.
It is clear that Keel's thrice-great-grandfather Voin has much yet to tell us. But I see we have a visitor.
I did not mean to cause offense.
Okay, so this one's like complete the Black Book of Mordor chapter 10.1, a new journey, and I'm at 9.7, so looks like we're going to carry on with this for a little while. Whee, split. Back to the Glimmerdeep. He be dead.
I was told Karsgar was slain, but I did not believe it. I do not. The tracks have led us here. We should climb this path and see where it goes.
Let's find where it does indeed go. In the cave again. So how the f did you get here so quick?
This must be Karsgar's lair, from where he launched his attack on Scarhall. We need to learn what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Where is Karsgar? Where has Karsgar gone? I need to think.
Yeah.
Wait a moment. We must brave the tunnel. We have no choice.
Zoni, thank you very much for the follow.
This must
There we
be
go.
Karsgar's doing. We have to hurry.
Definitely creeping close to that 4K. Right. What's going on? Scarhald is seemingly under attack. Was Karsgar? Keep on running. Don't fall down the hole because then you have to do a whole lot more running around like a noob. Follow the bodies. If in doubt, follow the bodies. Hours go. He's very strong, but he's going to come up against something that is even stronger. Yeah, Gandalf, get your neb out. Ugly spud. He wants the book.
Karazgar has been shamed, but that does not remove the danger he poses. I propose a new journey. We must bring the Black Book away from Skarhald.
I am sorry to see you go, but I understand Gandalf's reasoning.
Okay. Right, if I go back to my house, can I get the Felagos from there? Can we go Dalelands and that way around? We'll go back to my house and see where we can get to. Might end up having to come back here anyway. Da da da.
Greetings, friend.
Alright. Legoth, yes. Up. Thought we might be able to. Right, so this is chapter 10.1, which kind of leads into then going to the Vales of Anduin, which will probably ding us to 119 because we're literally, oh wow, we're 300 XP away. I don't think I've ever got that any closer when I've got like 5,779,826 and I need 5,780,126. I don't think I've ever got that close. Unbelievable, Jeff. So this should ding us on. Ding dang do.
You have returned to my halls. Did your search come to naught?
Make it through Erin Lasgallen to the forest gate in the west. Okay. Where we're going to head then. Take a little while, but elevate. So if we get this horse to Tham Terdol, mind you, we might actually, because we've already been to the Beorning Hus. So, but okay, maybe the Beorning Hus back again might be quicker. Megavana. Let's do swift travel Beorning Hus and then come back again. Kind of going past to come back again, but you know. Let's just get off the horse there. Get off the horse. And then head to the gate. Yeah. Into the Beorning lands. Whoa, hello. Yeah, okay, we didn't want to deal with them. Rubbish. Definitely not what we'll deal with. Here's the gate. Boop.
It is good to see you again.
The forest gate is open, and our path to the Beorning lands is clear.
Oh. So now we go back again. Because we already came to the Beorning Husk previously, which just slightly helped, if you know what I mean. Just because of being able to get here and backwards and there and back and there and back and back and there and there and back. There and back again. Alright, let's talk to Grimbeorn. Nobody else is just appearing. Boop.
You say this is Gandalf?
Waiting
This
to
does not look
119.
like the
Perfect
Gandalf I know.
timing.
This lodging is not without cost.
Oh,
Grimbeorn does not appreciate surprises.
Tales of
My
Anduin.
decision still stands.
Oh.
The darkness has spread across the mountains.
Alright.
Some days ago, I sent Harskor to the wood's edge with a
That's-
wagon of provisions. But he has not returned.
We live off the
Yes.
land, as we always have. The bees are buzzing, the birds are singing.
The bees are buzzing. The birds are singing. The bees are buzzing. The birds are singing. Doop-a-doop-a-doo.
It is a bright day in the Vales.
The bright
Hey.
day in the
A
vales.
good day in the land.
Cool. Right, over here, Sturkist.
Here you come bearing bad news.
Oh,
Is
is
there
there?
no end to our troubles?
Always
Good
come very
to
bad
see
news.
you
Come
again.
here,
How goes the Avengers?
Right, so clear bush and rose, entrance of flood wells, the griff. This interior quest location. Oh, there's Gandalf. Okay. Yep.
A darkness has settled upon the vales of Anduin. Can you not feel it?
Okay, there we go. She's in the swamp, that's fine. That's cool. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Cool. That's that one done. Accept.
My
There we go,
scouts
1,
report
120.
seeing strange lights.
Arabin,
among
we
the
did talk about it
fetid
earlier.
fields
Yeah,
of
some
Gladden
people are not happy about it, but my thing is that
to the Gladden fields.
don't go on the
They will
server.
be different.
I think it's one of those. If there are obviously to begin with, it's only going to be on Mordor and Angmar, then you kind of know what you're letting yourself in for. They already said that it's something that they look at whether they'd seemingly introduced them onto a normal server. I don't think they will. So I'd be very surprised if they did. Because obviously you'd kind of have to have some kind of toggle to allow that to happen. But again, I don't think it will. But no, I'm quite happy with the potential. It's something that they're looking at doing, getting people tied behind VIP, whatever it has to be, because they don't want people to just crash the shit out of their servers. Ace Nelson, yeah, everybody would like that, but unfortunately the game engine doesn't really allow that to happen very easily. And they're trying to mitigate things. 64-bit servers are coming. The Mordor and Angmar servers are going to be the first to have that. They may roll them out to other servers depending upon the performance and other things that they can mitigate along the way, but it's probably not going to happen in an instant. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the other thing with the new servers as well, obviously they're going to be 64-bit, but there's not going to be see you later, Protein. There's not going to be obviously as many people maybe on there because of it being a whole VIP server. The level cap is only going to be 50 to begin with. The amount of quests that people are going to have is going to be limited. So there's a lot of kind of mitigating circumstances that are going to help with the performance. And obviously for the EU players, having a server that's based in the EU is going to be very beneficial as well because, we have to not only have to deal with the performance of the servers with the lag and the latency, but having the latency that's so far away doesn't really help, even though the performance is hopefully going to be improved. So having something a bit closer to home, as we would say, will probably help. But no, overall, I think it's a good change. I'm glad that they're doing something that could be of interest to people. I'll certainly be diving on there to see what it's like. Bring on some kind of world bosses, which will be interesting, especially if people can find and get into their possession the rings that can kind of dissipate the invulnerability on the greater wraiths. So if you haven't seen it, do check it out. There's a nice little summary kind of thing of the whole stream with Sevelin yesterday by Weird Jedi over on the LOTRO forums, and it'll certainly even worthwhile if you have the time to watch the video on YouTube as well. But you can kind of watch this VOD back later on as well, because we do touch on it for the first hour, all the various things. Do go check it out. It's on the normal LOTRO YouTube channel. You'll find it. I don't have the link to hand, so just go check it out. It's easy to find. It was only yesterday's stream, so all good stuff. But yeah, 2 new servers: Angmar, Mordor, one based in the US, one based in the EU. It is going to be a VIP only server or servers. The Veil of the Nine is going to be the kind of events that are going to kick off. You're going to be possibly having to deal with lesser wraiths and then greater wraiths, and then you're going to need a specific ring to deal with what could be world bosses, which are going to take 40 to 50 people to take down. It could be interesting, but the bigger bosses are only going to be at when you're at level cap. So but you are going to find the lesser wraiths popping in possibly from around level 15 onwards. But they are still going to be powerful, and it'll be your decision to either try and take them on, which will be difficult, or GTFO. So, it's probably a good thing. But anyway, I'm going to stop there. We've had a good stream for a few hours. We need to take a little break. It's getting a bit warm in here as well, and I don't want to get a headache. We shall reconvene another time. Thank you very much as always. Zoni, thank you for the follow. Johnny Rockets TV, thank you for the follow. Favora, thank you for the follow. Jim the Mank, thank you for the resub. And everybody else that's been in. It's always a pleasure to talk about all these things that crop up with LOTRO. We're 119. More to go. I'll have to double check that we've got everything spick and span with our legendaries. But do get those notifications on. We shall see you in the next one, whenever that may be. In the meantime, folks, take care. Be good. See you soon. Bye.